Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics. I found this 1997 Camaro Z28 Anniversary Edition, one of just under 1,000 built back in those days. Makes it kind of special. The car's got 69,000 original miles. It's located in New Jersey. Let's go check this interesting car out. I found this car just a little while ago on Craigslist, and the seller is asking $12,500. As you know, the 1997 is the last generation of the Camaro before the later generation came out. Who knew, right? But this was the fourth generation, and this ran from 1993 to 2002. And in 1990, let's get the front end of this car. In 1998, they came out with a new front end and a new rear end of the car that made the car look a little more blocky. I don't know, it's a little more muscular maybe, but the popularity of the 1998 to 2002 models bring more money on Bring a Trailer and other specialty places because of the SLP appointed goodies that you can get on the car, namely Ram Air and things like that. This car doesn't have T-tops. This car doesn't have any SLP to it. It's just basically a special 30th anniversary model. They made just shy of 1,000 of these models for North America, and which isn't a big number when you think about it. So it has a little bit of a collectability. However, I don't see this car to be a major collectible type car in the future, although the seller says it will be. But, I would buy this car as a daily driver and something just to enjoy and work on and get to know, type of thing. Let's dive into the photographs and see if we can tear it apart a little bit. It has the white wheels that were only available on the 30th anniversary model. And they did make a 30th anniversary model with the LT4 motor. They only made 100 of those. And those cars will be bringing like $75,000 on Bring a Trailer if you can find one. But this isn't that. But the white wheels were available on both the LT4 version and this one, so you can fake people out when they see you in the streets. Has the markers and the nice stripes on the car and all that, which was identifiable as the 30th anniversary model. Again, it doesn't have the T-tops, which for me is fine because T-tops just become problematic, as the car ages. Car sits very well. It doesn't look like it's been an abused car. Hopefully the paintwork is all original, which would be a really good thing to see in person. The seams and all don't line up the best. They didn't line up that well from the factory. It's a fiberglass hood. So, you just have to make sure the car wasn't in an accident. The other thing about the Northeast region is that, the cars tend to get some rust if it's not in a climate-controlled environment. And so you have the hangers on the exhaust system. That's pretty common. But I would be concerned about any rust on the bottom of the car. They didn't really undercoat the cars back in those days. I had a 1994 Z28. I remember the bottom of the car being totally white, and it was a white car as well. So you can tell right away if it's original underneath the car. He doesn't show any real photos. The front seat here would need to be reupholstered over time. So again, $12,500 asking price. I would start trimming down the asking price by things like, the upholstery and things like that. No T-tops is a way of bringing the car price down a little bit as well. But, you have to see these cars in person before you really start negotiating. The car never really had good fit and finish on the interior, where the airbag bolted here. But this car, for some reason, has a more severe lean to it, and it's not as aligned as it probably should be, which questions if this car had an airbag deployment at some time in its life. So that's another thing that you might want to investigate, unless it's just the camera angle. But don't be disappointed if the airbag didn't deploy. It's just the quality control back in those days wasn't like it is today. There's the rear seat. It has the embroidery here. It looks like some of the stitching might be, oh no, it says 30th. That's the 30. Yeah, that looks in good shape. The engine bay, it's original, which I like. All right, so I always like looking at an original engine bay, but you can see that it wasn't in the best climate control type of condition. So we see rust forming on the radiator support, which is really no big deal. But if the rust is on the radiator support, there's likelihood of the rust being underneath the car. Again, if it's just surface rust, I'd rather see this than see somebody with a spray paint can covering it up. So he didn't cover up things like that. You can see the aluminum is pitted and weathered. And again, that comes from being in a non-climate control environment. I don't believe the car was left outdoors, but even if you keep a car in a garage all these years, you need to have a vapor barrier between the concrete floor of the car and the floor of the car, as well as the floor of the garage, because that vapor barrier will absorb some of the hot and cold moisture that comes off the floor. So I always use tar paper on my cars in my garage, and that tends to work very well. But yeah, that's one of the problems about having a car in the Northeast. A lot of literature. There's a shot of the sill, doesn't really show me much, except that it's not rust through or anything like that. No T-tops, which to me is fine. Has a good stance, a good look. That front windshield is raked so severely that if you put Rain-X on the windshield and drive this car at 60 miles an hour in the rain, you can put your wipers down. The rain just skates right off. It's amazing. I always like that about the car when I had one just like this. So, and I do like that front end. I think it's growing more in popularity too. People are looking at this car differently these days, and prices have been going up a bit on very good examples. This is not a perfect example, but the one of 998 anniversary cars, has some pedigree to it that you can have some boasting rights. They did make an LT4 30th anniversary model, and was manufactured by SLP back in those days, and they only made 100 of those. So that's like a $75,000 car, $65,000 car today, I would guess. But overall, nice looking car for the price. $12,500. I'm probably in the $8,500 range on this car, but I'd be very leery on putting an offer in on this car unless I got underneath the car to see what I'm getting. If there was severe rust on the bottom, or if it looked like the car was repainted and resprayed, I'd probably walk away. I wouldn't even be interested in buying the car. So there you go, a 1997 Camaro Z28 30th anniversary edition. They only made a little bit over 979 of these cars for the United States market. Has some speciality to it as far as being a 30th anniversary edition. You can't go wrong with a Camaro. The fourth generation Camaro is a lot of fun to own and drive. And instead of buying a $45,000, $50,000 new car, you can drive this for 10 years and have some fun, and the parts are cheap. You can get everything on this car on rockauto.com. You'd be surprised how easy it is to repair a car like this. Front engine, rear wheel drive, no big deal. A lot of fun. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this car. If you enjoyed the video, please give a thumbs up. If you have friends that love cars, please share this channel with them and tell them to subscribe. We'll see you back here on another Rob's Top Pick. Until then, thanks for joining us.